back with day 2, stages for the NRL22 championship. We flew back, as you guys seen, lost a rifle, didn't lose it. So I had the air tag in it, so I wasn't too concerned. You seemed pretty concerned there for a little bit.
And thank goodness it was on the way back and not on the way there.
Yes, that's a big thing. But no, it came in like 5 hours after us, but I wasn't going to sit at the airport and wait for 5 hours. I could have called a couple buddies. You know, I know some guys that live in the area. They could have picked it up, but they said they would deliver it straight to my house the next morning. And by God, they called me at 8:30 the next morning, said we're 20 minutes out. So I had them drop it off. It wasn't a big deal. But with that air tag in there, I was able to see exactly where it was. I even told the flight attendant, hey, it's not on this flight. According to your app and my phone, or the air tag, it's not on the plane. Oh, they got a little bit left. Okay.
Yeah, we definitely took off without that case on the plane.
It's like, oh. And then the other one just sat on the outside for, 3 hours for our delay?
In the
or
heat.
Not delay, but
For our layover.
For our layover?
Yeah.
Oh,
just
okay.
out in the heat.
Yep.
And then in a puddle of water.
Then they turned on the ACs for the walkway.
Yep.
And that, all the condensation from that was dripping down and just surrounded my gun. It was just in a puddle. So, whatever. It is what it is.
Apparently that gun shot well for the gentleman that borrowed it all the way.
Anthony. Yeah, that worked really well for him.
He placed really well.
Top 25 or something like that.
I think so. Was he 22nd maybe? 23rd? Yeah, he did really well.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah. But let's go over the last 8 stages. So we did 12 stages on day 1, and then we did 8 stages on day 2.
Mm-hmm.
So we started on, I don't know, we ended on 1.
Yes,
so now on day 2, we start on stage 2.
Yep, so stage 2 was called Charlie Brown Tree. 10 rounds. It was an IPSC at 137 yards. So then on the command, shooter will move to the barricade and engage the targets, large than small, from 3 different limbs on the tree and 2 different positions on the slanted bar.
So I remember this one. They call it Charlie Brown Tree because it was just a sad-looking Christmas tree, I'm guessing. But it was just your typical metal, steel. You can see the video. You can see it. But so that worked out really well. Super stable. There was 2 targets. You had a large IPSC and a small IPSC. The IPSC broke on the last squad, technically yesterday, or not technically yesterday, but on the day 1, it broke on the last squad, so they had to put a circle target up there. There was a couple of guys in our squad questioning the size versus size and fairness, and I was let me shoot the steel. But this was a hit to move on, so that was a lot of fun because you get on a position, you do 2 shots. No matter what, you do 2 shots. You shoot. If you impact the big one, then you go after the small one. If you miss, you just continue. You have to move. But if you miss the first one, impact, then you have to re-engage the first target.
Yeah.
So we didn't have any mental breakdowns. First stage of the day, everybody was good and sharp. So there was that. Oh, another thing. The heat was so bad. I don't know if in any of these videos that you guys look at, if you can see sweat dripping off or see how moist we are. But it was very humid and hot.
Very, very, very hot.
And on day 2, there was quite a few people that either did not come back, they were wore out, they ended up staying at the hotel, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was told at the end of the match that if you go through and look at the scores, if you see like 3 or 4 zeros in a row, it was because people had to go to the cool down shack, get an IV, get some fluid, stuff like that. No one from our squad had any issues. Everybody was good. So that's great. And you were helping me out, keeping me hydrated, stuff like that.
What
bringing
was
me
our
water.
Goal? 2 waters per stage?
No, not 2. 1 per.
For sure?
1 for sure.
I think I drank more water.
As soon as I was done shooting, you'd always bring me one.
I drank more water that whole weekend than I think I have
the whole week probably.
Correct. I'm constantly dehydrated. Those were the 3 days that I wasn't.
Yeah, right. So that was interesting, just seeing who can stay healthy. Like, we had one guy, the bigger guy, in our squad. He was sitting down. I asked how he was doing, and he's like, "Well, I just downed 4 waters. I was starting to cramp it up.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to be at that position, so he downed 4 waters, and he was good to go. You know, he was fine." So.
Well, and you had those electrolyte packets or whatever that we always put in ours too, so I think that probably helped.
Yeah, I think I had like 2 of those throughout the day. It's not like every drink I had that.
Right, but they probably helped.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. All right, Oh, sorry. So that one kind of went well. I think I got an 8 or a 7 on it. I think I got a 7.
Did you track?
I did.
You did?
Yep.
Oh, let me see if I can find it. Stage 2?
Because I think I got a 7.
You got a 7.
Yeah, I got a 7, 6, 6. Then I cleaned it.
How you
got a 9, and then I got a 4 in the last stage of the day.
How you remember this stuff? I shoot this stage and I'm done. Like, poof, it's out of my brain.
Oh, gosh. No, I remember because it was like, oh, gosh, we're stuck on a 7, then I got a 6, then another 6, and then it was like, oh, my gosh. So mentally, I just kind of had to hit reset.
You had a tally going?
And then, no, I don't keep track that way, but it was just, I need a mental reset.
I'm just impressed that we're here, days after. Yes, week after, and you know what you got on a specific stage. I couldn't tell you what.
That last stage killed me. It's like, oh, we cleaned it, got a 9, and then it's like the last stage of the day, I'm the last shooter, and then the wind shifted, and I got a 4.
That's probably why you didn't actually put in it.
Oh, it was the last stage of the day. Yeah, I know it was. But anyway, all right. So I got a 7 on that.
Stage 3 was
the wind wasn't bad. Tall trees in that Bay Area. So.
Yeah. Stage 3 was tripod hunters. This was an interesting one to watch from a viewer's perspective.
Yeah. So this one, you had you can see on the video, hard left, and then you came in over here, and then over here, then over here. So you're panning really hard. And what was the furthest distance?
291.
And then what was the closest? Like 94?
93.
93 yards.
I remember this stuff.
I don't know. 93 yards. So you went from what, 204 to 93?
240.
240
to 93.
I can't even remember that though. So 240 to 93.
Yeah.
So 90-second par times on a tripod with a huge pan, and it was far to near, near to far. So you're changing every time. So what I did is I dialed for the second target, which was at what?
240. 240?
I thought you said the furthest was 240.
No, the furthest was 291.
Well, that's what I was asking. So 291 all the way down to 94. So I dialed for the second target for the, far to near. Dialed for that. So then when I started, I held over for the prairie dog. Then I held right on for the deer. And then I dialed 3.6 to, what's 3.6? 103? No, that can't be it.
No, that's
what's the third target?
141.
141.
Yeah.
So then I dialed for that, and then I held under for the next 2 or the next 4 shots because you went near to far or far to near, double tap the near, then you go back out. So that was kind of my plan of attack because there was not enough time. And as you've seen in the video that overlaid me talking, my bag slips off because I didn't pick up my gun and just move it left and right. I was moving my rifle on that bag and it just slid off the tripod.
So I was just spectating, so I wasn't totally paying attention during debrief and everything on these stages. But in here it says the shooter may use a clamp or a bag on top. Nobody used a clamp.
But we asked about that, but they did not have a clamp there. So we asked, could we take our ball head off and put it on there? And they said no, because we haven't had one. You're the first group to ask about it. And I'm like, seriously? This is day 2, and you're telling me 12 squads yesterday never asked, hey, can we take the ball head off of ours and
clamp? May use clamp or bag on top.
Yeah. They didn't have a clamp on the tripod, so the RO said no one else has asked.
My first question
just
is
run it
why
like
didn't
this.
anybody clamp into the tripod?
Yeah.
Everybody used
There wasn't one.
There wasn't one. Okay.
So that one I got a 6 on it. In that rush, I timed out. I did get my last shot off. Well, I shot it and impacted. After the time, I asked permission. Said, can I send it? And I said, yes. Doesn't count. Okay, cool. Boom, impact. At 290 some yards, so prairie dog. So yeah, that kind of bummed me out, but that mentally, just trying to prepare for that, of which way you're going to dial, what you're going to do, that was intense for sure, especially for 90 seconds. So the next one was stairs.
Yeah.
You had a target to the left and a target to the right.
Yeah.
And we talked about this after the match because I had Chris and Carbone in my squad, and they ranged every target. At every stage, they were ranging every target. They'd walk up on the line, get as close to the prop. They wouldn't touch the prop, and range every target. And the ranges were good on every stage this weekend, or last weekend. No. So yeah, I trusted that. But apparently afterwards, there was another squad that said the left target was 10 yards closer, and that's why they missed. And I'm like, we ranged it and we all hit it, so there's that. But I got a 6 on that.
We even had some guy clean it in our group.
Yep, I think we did. It was the first clean of the. I think Chris cleaned it. It was the first clean of the weekend on that stage.
For that stage.
Yep. So he was feeling pretty good, which he should. But the right target was skyline. The left target was in a pile of rocks, so it was kind of hard to identify, or could be. You had the placard, it was up and left of that, so it wasn't horrible, but it was, at first, you kind of look at it and you see the white placard, and where's the target? It's a great target in the Great Rock. So what was interesting about that is you had to go left, and then you had to get out, and then go in to the stairs to be able to shoot the one on the other side. So another 6, yay. So that's when I had my mental reset. I thought it was good. It was good. Just did holdovers. Dialed for the long one, held over for the second one.
And then stage 5 was Better Be Quick, which was the timed tiebreaker stage.
So it's a PRS barricade, PRS stage, or PRS match. Or no, it's not PRS match, it's NRL.
Yeah.
We're heading to a PRS match right now.
Correct.
So, and I just talked to Ken, so, yeah. And, so, it's a PRS barricade, rock solid, and this was the tiebreaker stage, timed. You had just one diamond target at how far?
87 yards.
So at 87 yards, you had a very large diamond, or not very large, but you had a large enough diamond that you had to shoot 8 shots at. And I just said, okay, this is when I have my mental reset. Easy, clean, let's just focus on it, take our time, let's just get a solid 8 points, not worried about time. And so I go, let her rip, and get an 8, and they said 35 something. I'm like, oh, time remaining? They're like, no, that's how long it took you. I'm like, what? No way. And they're like, yeah, you're as slow as molasses, as he's shaking his head, like, yeah, that was really quick, you know? I'm like, well, what did the guy before me just get? Well, he got 32. I'm like, I felt like I just took forever. I got on that target, I got on the center of that target, made sure I'm stable, boom. For all 8 shots. It felt like I just took forever. And then he said 35 seconds. Like, okay, time remaining. Took me about a minute to do it. No big deal. Or 55 seconds. No big deal. Nope. That's how long it took me. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, clean in 35 seconds. Yeah, I'll take it. So, yeah, that felt good.
Needed that little boost there.
Yeah, you know, I was taking my time because it's a large target. Easy clean. Don't worry about the time. And then a bonus was I cleaned it in 35 seconds. And looking through the scores, that was a quick score.
Yeah.
So that made me feel a little bit better. And then after that was, what was it, bowling pins or something?
Yeah, it was.
I don't remember the
They
barricade.
had...
Oh, it was those 5 black pipes, wasn't it? And our viewers are probably watching the video right now.
They were the bowling pins. It was off of... Because it was KYL rack.
Oh,
216.
I think it was a metal
thing.
I don't remember though, for sure.
I can't remember either. I mean, there was a barricade. But
is it 5 different positions?
No, it was 3.
Okay. Oh, yeah, because we had the bar, and I asked, because the guy before me used a tripod, or 2 guys before me used a tripod, did well.
Oh, I think I remember.
Got
this
like
now.
a 10
you had
or
a couple
11.
different options of
And
where
I'm like,
to go.
why didn't you go on this lower rung and just go straight across instead of extending? Because you had to deploy the tripod on the clock.
Yeah.
So I asked, why do you deploy it? Like, legs have to be closed all the way in. Why'd you deploy it and extend the legs to go on the top rung instead of this bottom one where you didn't have to deploy it because we're using a really right stuff that had the longer legs on it, just one extension or whatever, you know, one tube. And he's like, I don't know. I just started doing it and I went for it. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, there's that. So I was thinking about using a plate bag, the grass plate with the plate bag on it, from Eric, and then just doing that with the tripod rear. But I'm looking at this barricade, I'm like, that looks pretty solid. These barricades have been solid at this match. So I'm like, just run it with what I'm used to is a Schmedium and the Grabs Pro Plate, obviously. And so Brody did that before me, and he did well. So I'm like, Brody can do it, I can do it. So we were all talking about it, you know, just figuring out what the wind was doing. It was kind of being weird. And so I just put 5/10 into my rifle, and we'll get into that later, or what that resulted in. But I just put 5/10 left in my rifle. It's all 5 bowling pins. I think it's 5 bowling pins. Yeah, no, 4 bowling pins, 3 different positions, 12 points.
Yep.
All the same distance. So I just put 5/10 left in my rifle. Get on that barricade, make a stable position because they get smaller, and I just go through, boom, 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 watching every impact, kind of where it twists the plate. Well, that first impact just looked like it hit center plate. I'm like, all right, let's go. Just took my time, got on them. Then on that last one, looked good, send it. All right, cool, that impacted. Let's keep that wind. Next position, now I need to make up time, go through it. Third one, go through it, cool. Cleaned it, felt great. Of course, you clean it, everybody asks, what did you do for wind? Guys, look it dialed 5/10 left. Well, there's 2 people in our squad that's like, I never dialed one. Never dialed. And one guy, I think Greg was in our squad. I know he was in our squad, but I think Greg was one of them that's like, I never dialed. And I convinced him to dial. Because at MKM, you definitely don't dial wind out there, right, Greg? God, I hope you watch this. But I dialed it. It was good. Cleaned it. Felt great. So then everybody tried to do that as well. And then we all had to remind each other, let's make sure to dial back the zero. So that was a clean. So second clean in a row. Felt good. And then the one after that.
Stage 7 pipe.
Yeah. I think that was the black pipes that we were able to practice on day 1.
Oh, yeah.
That I was dry firing on, and the guys next to me were like, "Oh, no call."
Yes.
And the other guy's like, "Do you know you don't have a mag in?"
Yeah.
So, yeah, we practiced off that on sight and day. It was the only barricade I could find that we could touch, so I was just dry firing a lot off of that, just playing with it and rushing and stuff. Anyway, so I got a 9 out of 10 on that. What were the targets on that, though? I don't recall.
You had 2 targets at the same distance. It was 228.
Oh, but one was way over here, one was way over here.
Yes, that's
type
correct.
Of deal. Yeah, they were squares. And then the second square, I think, was smaller.
Sure.
So, yeah, that was fine, figuring out the wind and then your angle. The plates are kind of big enough. You could miss, obviously. I got a 9, but they were big enough that it felt good. No big deal. And I was second on that stage, so then the next one, I was first.
Jurassic Park. So this one...
Oh no, this was the truck. So
yes,
I was third on that, second on the truck. That was fun, because if you look at the truck, it's kind of like Jurassic Park themed, colored whatever. And then they had little T-Rexes for the targets.
Oh, they did? I didn't see that. I mean, I was never on glass.
You never were on glass, but yeah, they had little T-Rexes.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh,
so I thought that was kind of fun. I'm like, oh, my wife would love this because of the name and stuff like that for our matches too. So the stage name was good. You shot off the hood for 4 shots or 3? 3 shots off the hood. And I had way more bipod than I needed. And then you go in the vehicle, and you don't want to screw up because from in the vehicle you go to the back window and shoot 4 shots at the next furthest target.
Yep.
And then you go to the roof and shoot the furthest target. Well, we had someone in our squad that had a mental error, and when they went in the vehicle, they went straight to the roof instead of the door. Well, they impacted the target, but the spotter was just on the target. He wasn't watching positional. That was the other RO watching that. So he was on target. He called impact, and he called impact. Then someone else said that's not an impact, and the other RO wasn't marking the points because he seen he was in the wrong spot. So he had a quick reset and went under into there, got his next 2
rounds.
And then back up to the roof again. So just those pre-planning mental error there. I thought it was fun. I got I don't remember what I got.
Oh, you don't remember?
Oh, I dropped the first 2. No, I hit 1 and then I dropped the next 2. So I got what, an 8? Yeah. So like that close dinosaur, I went 2/10 wind or something like that, sent it, impacted it, like, okay, cool. Sent the next one, nothing.
Totally
I'm like,
nothing.
oh. So I'm like, okay, let's favor this side. Yeah, that was the wrong side. So I missed the second shot too. Lovely.
Yep. And then the last stage of the day was stage 9, which is called Hilo, right?
Yep.
That's the type of aircraft?
Yep.
Hilo Headhunter. So you had 3 targets.
One was really far to the left. That diamond was how far?
Was that the furthest one?
Yep.
274.
So 274, and the wind was anywhere between 1:30, 2 o'clock to 11 o'clock. And then it was kind of consistent, 11 o'clock to 10:30 the whole time. And then I went up there, and it was not that.
I didn't watch everybody shoot this one.
Yeah,
I took a nap.
I did because I was last.
Yeah, no, this is the one I took a nap on.
Oh, well, I was last, so.
I woke up just in time to film you.
Perfect. And then you had to move over, shoot that head, and then shoot another head target, and then get up on this rope thing.
Strap.
And everybody's like, oh, it's thick enough, it's stable enough. I was not stable.
You didn't look stable.
My wobble zone was bigger than that dang head, that's for sure. And my performance showed that too, because I got a 4 on that stage.
I was going to say, you didn't even write that one down. So.
Well, it was the last stage of the day. But we were packing up, and I was trying to get stuff in my tripod, but you already took off. But, yeah, wasn't great. But it was fine. So all in all, the course fire, I thought it was great. I got back home, and people were calling, asking how it went and stuff, and then the big question was, would you go shoot another Chris Simmons match? Yeah, I would. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. For a championship match, I don't know if I said it in the other video, the other debrief. For a championship match, I thought it was really good. It was challenging. I think the size of targets were good for what it was. The positions I thought were good. They were stable targets, or barricades. So it's not like you're wobbling everywhere trying to just squeeze it off in there, you know? Even that barrel stage, that was 5 targets, 5 positions at 5 different distances in 90 seconds.
See, and I think that's the big thing, is the 90-second par time. I don't think a lot of people are used to running.
I think that's why I placed as low as I did. 38th place is what I scored. And I think that's what killed me, is that 90 seconds. I'm not used to that.
Mentally going in, and not being able to follow up your shots properly.
Oh yeah, because
and-
you guys seen my monthly videos. Is I get on target, I focus on the center of the target, then squeeze it off and watch that impact. This, you didn't have time to do that. So it was.
This was
Fast
definitely
and
one
Furious.
of those where those,
Compared to what I'm
those
used
stages that had multiple positions, you were sending off a shot. You didn't even wait to see
Yeah, like
if you
that
made
one
an
that
impact.
was
You just
12
moving
positions,
on.
12 shots. It's like, okay, first shot, oh, impact. All right, cool. Bam, bam, bam. As
but
quick
that
as you could
one,
go. You were
you were
already moving
moving.
before your bullet was getting there,
Correct.
before they even called impact on it.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
for sure.
But yeah, I'd go back to North Carolina and shoot again. I didn't think the heat was. It was hot. Don't get me wrong,
The
but
heat was hot.
the humidity.
It was
The
hot
humidity
over
was
there.
pretty bad, but I was fine. We hydrated up, and yeah, like after day one, I was ready to keep going. I was fine. I felt good.
Mhm.
But yeah, I thought it was good. I'd go back and do it again. They did announce that the next one, NRL22 championship, is in Wisconsin, which is cool that it's centrally located, but I think no matter what, the match is going to fill. But the exciting part is who is hosting it, who's the match directors. And that is going to be Ruth and Justin Carbone.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm excited about, because we've shot their matches before.
Oh, absolutely.
They are very organized, and Justin
Well put
is
together.
very analytical. I don't know what the word is, but like he understands. He's got like a whole table of, you're doing this, the target size needs to be this, and he just has it very, very calculated. You know, he can tell you where his hit percentage is going to be, type of deal for the end, and yeah, so that's what I'm excited about. Great that it's in Wisconsin. You said what, 6 hours away for us?
I think so.
So we'll be
over
pulling.
6.5.
Yeah, so we'll be pulling the trailer. Well, speaking of which, we need to book an Airbnb for that. We already got people asking to room with us, so we need to do that. But yeah, we're excited. We're going to go after it this time. And then you even said that you would like to shoot it.
I'm gonna shoot this.
But
year.
I gotta build you another rifle, apparently.
Well, that's when you sell one, you gotta replace it with something.
Yeah. Someone really wanted her Gen 1, so they got it.
Got rid of it.
But you weren't really shooting, so.
No, I wasn't.
But now you
I
want a
didn't shoot
360
it.
anyway.
I don't think I shot hardly at all last year.
Yeah, but you want a 360, so
Yeah.
whatever. I still got my Gen 1. But, so yeah, we're both going to be up there shooting that. We're going to pull the trailer and have a good time. I'm excited. Now we're just headed to another match. You're going to RO. I'm going to shoot it. Center fire, your first center fire.
My first center fire.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you can kind of call it second. The
Oh, that
Vortex
was,
Team Sniper Challenge was a little different.
Yeah, it's a different
Yeah.
style of match. But yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed. That was our NRL22 championship in North Carolina experience. If you have questions, comments, concerns, let me know. If you want more information about a certain stage, like you shot it and you're wondering how I shot it or whatever, or want to have a discussion about it, because there were some stages that we had some really good discussions about, fairness or safe and stuff like that. I thought it was all fine. At our level, it should have been fine. So, yeah. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you at the range.